First, live, local. This is a Good Day Oregon news update on Fox 12 Oregon.
Good morning, I'm Jose Valtierra, and here's an update to some of the stories we are following this morning. New this morning, police plan to arrest a 25-year-old man after they say he sexually assaulted a teenage boy in North Portland. Currently, the suspect is under police guard in the hospital after he was hurt by the victim during the assault. Investigators say the man assaulted a 15-year-old boy around 8 o'clock last night on North Kilpatrick Street near Foss Avenue. Once he is released from the hospital, detectives plan to formally charge him with kidnapping and sodomy. Parents had some strong words for the Portland Public School Board in the latest round of budget meetings.
Slow down the process and let's take a better look at this whole thing. Don't just start closing down the small neighborhood schools without thinking it through.
The school board says it's losing $57 million in funding for next year's budget. Board members are hoping to receive $33 million from a reserve fund, but that still leaves local schools short $24 million. One plan calls for the closure of 11 elementary schools and the conversion of 27 other schools into K-8 programs. The school board says it may also close some Portland high schools. And the Oregon Zoo is joining a national effort to save a punk rocking pig that also happens to be critically endangered. Take a look at this. The Visayan warty pig looks a lot like a punk rocker. The pig is also highly endangered. Zoo visitors can see the pigs at a day-long benefit beginning tomorrow at 10 a.m. And once again, spring break has arrived, and that means thousands of travelers are expected at Portland International Airport. KPTV's Chad Carter has a story.
Spring break travelers are heading to PDX this morning as they head out to their tropical destinations for spring break. So far, lines were busy early this morning, but as the morning went on, things slowed down. Around the noon hour, though, things are expected to pick back up. 42,000 people a day will be moving through PDX over the next 3 weeks. That's what officials out here call their spring break travel season. That is up 5,000 passengers from this time last year. Also, 750,000 people are expected to be traveling through here between now and the end of that 3 weeks. They do have a couple tips for you if you are heading out here. Use that cell phone parking lot if you're picking up someone at the airport. Also, use electronic ticketing and check in before you arrive. They do say arrive 2 hours early if you're flying domestic flights, or 3 hours if you're heading internationally. And also, make sure you can use any security checkpoint. You don't have to just go to the one closest to your gate. You can go through the security checkpoints and then access any gate at the airport once you go back there. Things moving relatively well at PDX so far today, but there are many days left to go. Airport officials say just be prepared to expect anything. You can log on to kptv.com for more tips on how you can travel smartly this spring break. At PDX, Chad Carter, now back to you.
Well, thanks, Chad. Kids living in Washington County will have an extra eye watching over them during the spring break. Sheriff deputies will be out enforcing curfews and looking for underage drinking parties while school is out. Just a reminder, the curfew for children 14 and under is 10:15 and midnight for kids between 15 and 18 years old. Now it's time to take a look at what's making news across America this morning. In Florida, drivers spent several hours waiting on the highway after a tanker truck overturned early this morning. The accident occurred on Interstate 95 in Brevard County and had to be closed down for several hours as hazmat crews cleaned up the area. The driver of the truck died at the scene after he was thrown from the cab. A surfer in Hawaii is safe this morning after a run-in with a shark. Elizabeth Dunn was surfing near Honolulu with friends when she says she felt a bump on her board and then she felt a bite. Dunn was able to swim back to shore and she was driven to a local hospital. Authorities say Dunn was bit once on the leg by what they believe was a tiger shark. And a strange twist of a story out of Oklahoma. Teenage robbers stole a camera from a mall kiosk and soon after turned themselves in. The reason? They found child pornography on the camera. Police say the images showed a young girl being sexually abused by an older man. Police believe the man is the owner of an area pizzeria and he is now in custody. Investigators in Miami, Florida are trying to find the cause of a deadly plane crash. Yesterday, 3 people died when authorities say their plane took a nosedive into a parking lot. Witnesses say the plane burst into flames on impact, causing a small brush fire. The fire was quickly controlled. The FAA says the pilot did not file a flight plan. And finally, Roosevelt High School has selected the 13th of 14th Rose Festival Court ambassadors.